Hello and welcome to another video review. This is going to be of Rise of the Triad for the PC. I don't know why it did this, but when I recorded this video, the sound effects, the gunshots, the people talking, etc. recorded, but the music did not. And perhaps it's best that the music didn't record because for some reason it was obnoxiously loud. To give you an example of what I mean, it's got several power-ups in the game, and my favorite of them is God Mode. And what this does is makes you invulnerable to harm, gives you an attack that will home in on enemies and just turn them into nothing, and it makes you about 8 feet tall. So basically, it literally turns you into a god. And in the full game, this is the shareware version, the special edition of the shareware, but anyway, in the full game, you get the dog mode, which turns you into a dog, and you can run around mauling people. It's absolutely hilarious. You can carry up to 4 weapons in the game, and 3 of them have infinite ammunition. The first weapon, which you always have, is a single pistol. The second weapon is dual pistols, and the third weapon is an MP40 submachine gun, which also has infinite ammo. The fourth weapon you can carry is some sort of missile weapon. You can only carry one at a time, and each of them has ammunition. They range from your standard, single straight shot bazooka to heat seeker, flame wall, which shoots out this projectile, hits the ground, and turns into literally a wall of flame, the fire bomb, all kinds of cool stuff. Perhaps one of the coolest features of the game in terms of mechanics is the healing process. And you do this by picking up food. And there are 2 types of food in the game, the monk's meal and the priest porridge. And if you shoot the priest porridge with a missile weapon, it heats up and actually gives you more health than if you just eat it. There are actually 3 versions of this game. The first is Rise of the Triad, The Hunt Begins, which is the shareware edition. There's also the Rise of the Triad, The Hunt Begins Deluxe Edition, which is what I'm playing right here. It adds several levels and came on CD. And then there's Rise of the Triad Dark War, which is the full game. And the full game has a massive amount of levels and everything, whereas the shareware versions are pretty limited. You can actually adjust the gore level in the game, kind of like Duke Nukem and Soldier of Fortune. But I leave it on excessive gore level because that's just ridiculously funny to watch sometimes because you'll have eyeballs flying down the screen. In fact, I saw this one screenshot on the internet where a guy's hand had been blown off and it was flying through the air and it was actually flicking you off. So that was pretty interesting. Some of the little things in the game, like Easter eggs, are fun. If you play the game on, I think, Christmas and a couple other holidays, like, say on Christmas, they'll be wearing Santa hats. Like when the loading screen comes up and you see all the characters standing there, they'll all be wearing Santa hats. On another holiday, they're doing something else. And then you see the difficulty levels, and it said, like, easy was I am a chew toy, and the hardest is 2 words, Reaper Man, and all that stuff, and those actually change when you're playing the game. When you go to exit the game, it'll come up with various ways for you to die, like driving your car off a cliff, and you had to say yes or no, like a bunch of old DOS games do. Just different little things like that. Interestingly enough, this game was originally meant as an expansion pack to Wolfenstein 3D. That eventually just collapsed on itself, so they changed it into a new game. And it's probably better off being its own separate game than an expansion pack for Wolfenstein, because if it were an expansion pack, it wouldn't be able to have all this ridiculous, over-the-top goodness. Speaking of Wolfenstein 3D, if this game had been released as an expansion pack for it, then the graphics would look nowhere near as good as they are. It was some of the best graphics you could find anywhere when this game came out, and it kind of just blew people away. I think there's probably something for everybody in this game, and if it's the music, which is really good, the graphics, the violence level, the just ridiculously over-the-top humor, any of that. Whatever it is, you'll probably find something that you'll like about this game. And I highly recommend it to shooter fans, and I highly recommend it to people who have, quirky sense of humor that will enjoy the humor in this game. But anyway, very recommended. Check it out.